Alrighty, we are back from Valerian. We're back from watching the movie. It is quite late at the moment, but we decided that we're going to do this now while the movie is still fresh in our minds so that we can actually do this review properly. We went to go and see Valerian, and as you can see, we got posters. Some really cool posters. To put it... Your face, yes. As you can see, Kay's got her face painted quite nicely there too. All right, so we can point out a few things that we're not gonna spoil anything for you. Relax. It's when snowball, claws. Right. Well, we're not gonna spoil the movie for you, should I say? We're not gonna spoil any of the things. We don't do that kind of a review. Well, at least not with games. I'm not a very good movie critic.
This is our very first one ever.
Yes. I'm not very good at movies.
But it's not really a review. It's just our impression of it.
It's a review. It is a review. In many aspects, but you guys are going to have to forgive us our faults here. We are not brilliant at doing movies. We don't do movies. We don't do movie criticism very often. I either like one or I don't. It's as simple as that. But I'm going to take it as it goes and try giving you the best score I can. Again, I can't promise it's going to be brilliant.
And you may have a different opinion.
And you guys may have a very different opinion of the movie than we from what we do. But yeah, well, let's just get into it. All right, so the movie was brilliant when it came to CG. The CG was unbelievable. It was really awesome. I actually enjoyed it a lot.
It was really well done.
You know, when you sit and you watch it in 3D, it actually blows your mind away. I wouldn't know what it would be like in
2D.
In 2D. I'm sure it'll probably be just as good, but in 3D and with that CG, it was really well done. They managed to make it look like you'd expect it to. Funny enough, there were aspects of it that sort of drew me slightly away from it, where it was like Mass Effect. I felt like there were Mass Effect parts of the movie where you'd expect to see Mass Effect just pop out of it. You'd expect Shepard to jump out somewhere and start attacking.
I think what didn't help that, and I wanted to tell you about that as well, is the music. I think it's to blame on the music because
it wasn't just the music for me though.
But the music sounded a bit Mass Effect-y.
Yeah, it wasn't just the music for me though. Look, I get where you're coming from. When it comes to the music, I get where you're coming from. It did have a whole Mass Effect feel to it, but it was the equipment that they used and how they used it, and the very advanced equipment. I mean, look, it's not like it's licensed to only Mass Effect, but it did feel like I was watching a Mass Effect movie.
I will say that some of the gear and stuff that they used was really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I saw Krogan in that as well though.
I am gonna spoil something, but it's not really much of a big spoil. But I like the fact that guy can put that helmet thingy on and control people and things and in their surroundings. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was quite cool. That actually it gave me a different outlook on the designs as well. And I thought it was quite cool. So we're going to go through the bads. Obviously, as you can see, we're going through some of the bad parts not the bad bads, but like some of the things that I didn't really enjoy. And that Kez didn't really enjoy, although she did like that. But so yeah, I didn't like the fact that it seemed to draw a lot of Mass Effect. In my opinion, it drew a lot of Mass Effect. I mean, I saw a lot of different gadgets that I have maybe not exactly seen, but that have been part of Mass Effect's the Mass Effect game, like when you play as a bio or something along those lines. You get specific abilities that you can use and all that. So those things sort of caught me when I looked at it, and I was like, Anyway, one of the other bad things for me was the movie was unbelievably long. The story was
It
unbelievably
didn't
long.
need to be as long as it was.
Well, you know what? They could have made it as long as it was, but the only problem is
They should
when you
have
start to
changed
feel
it.
that the movie is too long, then you know it's too long. And sitting through the movie, I actually started getting uncomfortable because I realized that because my body was going, this movie is too long. My brain wasn't actually. I was focused on the movie the whole time, but my brain was just going, yeah, no, this is getting a bit drawn out now. And they really did draw it out quite a bit. You know, it was quite long in that aspect. I don't know how you felt about that.
No, it was very well, long in a different sense of they took too long for me. They took too long to get to the point, and they took too long to get to the end. It could have been shorter, in my opinion. It could have been cut down to an hour and a half or 2 hours, instead of the length that it was. It's not really long. I think it's about 2.5 hours.
Somewhere around there.
But even then, for me, that movie was too long. It took too long to get to the point.
Yeah.
One thing that I don't like is that it was too obvious. Like in the beginning, it was okay, but then towards the end, you could kind of start
Seeing where the movie's
predicting
going.
where it was gonna go.
Yeah.
And I don't like that because we generally go for the movies or the TV series and things where there's not always a happy ending.
Yeah, no, I like to.
And this
to
was,
sometimes have
I'm not
a
going to
movie not-
spoil anything, but all I'm going to say is this was a classic happy ending story for everyone involved.
Yeah,
And
look, I would have liked it.
I want to see a bad ending at some point because that's reality. And I know we go to the movies to escape reality, but
Yeah,
I
no,
want
you know
the
what?
movie to end badly for once.
I don't mind the movie ending on a cliffhanger, for example. I mean, it would have actually made it better if it ended on a cliffhanger. But one part that I agree with is that it was becoming too obvious. Honestly, guys, one thing I can say to you is if you can actually ignore the willing suspension of disbelief, you'll be fine. You will be fine in the movie. But the problem is that you have to actually block that willing suspension of disbelief. You have to block everything out of your mind.
You basically got to go with an open mind.
No, I'm talking
Well,
about with the obviousness of the movie. You've got to be able to block that out of your mind while you go through this, because really they smack you with it in the beginning and assume you're stupid and you don't know what's going on, and that's the problem. And that's where I found the problem was.
What?
It does draw a little bit away for me. I don't like actually having that happen. I honestly like to be surprised, and I like to try and figure it out also by myself. You know, try and figure out who the bad guy actually is. But, you know, it's the way it goes, really.
Okay, now the good things. The one cool thing, and you'll see it in our interviews that we did with people about the movie. We didn't get that many because people were rushing to leave. But as Kasha from Dark Carnival said, the Easter eggs were really cool, and I'm going to spoil it again. The fact that, and when you go and watch the movie, you have to have split-second eyesight to actually see it, because you didn't see it either.
Yeah.
That they have someone dressed as Jessica Rabbit in one of the scenes in the movie, and it is so cool because it is spot on. If you see it, you will, in your mind, and you need to know who Jessica Rabbit is.
Yeah.
If you see it, you will go Jessica Rabbit.
It's Waja Rabbit's wife.
It's really cool. It's really cool. They had it spot on. It was really nice to see.
Yeah.
That they've drawn from different things. They drew from Avatar as well.
Yeah.
On some of their alien life forms and things like that. It was.
Yes.
It's not a bad movie.
We're not on the bad parts now. You can stop doing that.
I'm just saying that it has its good points.
It has plenty of good points.
Yeah.
It has plenty.
Oh,
of
and the biggest one.
Yeah, that was a
her.
surprise for me, and a lot of people as well, was the fact that
She
Rihanna actually
didn't
played her
disappoint.
part well. I was blown away. I didn't think that she'd actually play her part as well as she did.
She didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
It's surprising to quite a few people.
She didn't irritate me, you know. I mean, the movies that I've seen her in, she irritated me when she acted, but she actually played this part unbelievably well. Well, not unbelievably well. I mean, she played her part well. You know, she didn't. She didn't.
Did well.
You know, she acted the way she was supposed to.
She surprised us in a good way.
Yes. You know, I mean, I have been complaining about the acting and how it could have been better. I mean, it was, you know, expected. The acting, it was expected. It wasn't, you know, unbelievable like you'd see some of the movies that Karen and I have actually been to.
We're doing good.
Yeah, but anyway, so over and above that, Rihanna's acting was surprisingly good for her because I didn't expect to see that.
We were worried.
Yeah, we were worried when we first saw it. It was like,
Rihanna's in it.
Uh-oh. And then she acted really well. So
she did a good job.
She pulled it off quite well. Some of the other things, okay, again, the CGI, I can't emphasize enough. This movie's really CGI awesome. Was unbelievable. I cannot emphasize enough as to why or how good it is, and this is why this movie, you see, video games, that's what I do. Why this movie actually gets a relatively decent score from me is that it's just one of the reasons, but the CGI is a big part of why it got such a decent score. Also the cookies, I've got to say, from my side, or the Easter eggs, sorry, not the cookies, the Easter eggs. From my side, you guys who have seen The Fifth Element, you will see this movie just giving the nod to the Fifth Element. You will notice, you'll see things. The minute the movie starts, you'll start seeing things they're just going, they're paying homage, should I say, to The Fifth Element, because it was the same guy who created The Fifth Element.
Because this is what he wants, according to Les, who we spoke to about Valerian, actually on Icon. If you watched that video, the interview we had with him, he spoke to you and he said that this is what The Fifth Element was supposed to be like.
This is what he envisioned The Fifth Element to be, yes.
That's why I'm guessing that they did that, to say we're sort of tying the two together in a sense.
Yeah.
Not tying them together, but just saying, this is what I wanted.
I really liked the amount of alien races that they had in the movie. I think they did a great job of that. The designs, the different ways these characters, these aliens worked.
And as you pointed out, the fact that, I'm not going to spoil it, but the fact that races and genders can be different.
Yes. Yeah, races and genders. Kez was having a problem with the voices for some of the characters.
A problem. I was just a little bit confused.
Yeah, well, look, one of the characters is a male that sounded like a female, and I had to point it out to her that actually how it works is what I'm seeing the writers and the directors actually doing this, why they did this was to make the alien races really unique. Because we don't know if other alien races would have Adam's apples like we do, you know. So the males might sound more feminine, and the females might sound even more feminine than the males. So you got to look at it from that aspect as well. It did make sense. It made a lot of sense to me.
I was confused at first because it's quite weird when you hear that this is a man and then you hear a woman's voice attached to it.
Yeah.
But once you explain it to me, then it made sense.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much all we have to do. It's not going to be a very long review like our video games are, unfortunately, because I'm just not good at this.
Something that we have to point out is the reason we went to go and watch Valerian was because Dark Carnival actually got us into the pre-screening or premiere or whatever you want to call it, because it releases on the 21st. And obviously we went to go and see it today, the 20th. Our video will only go out on the 21st because it's late and I'm tired and we need to wake up for work.
Yeah, we still have day jobs.
But we managed to go to the premiere where obviously we got the posters and my face and why we are dressed fancy in a review for once. But it was the organization of it. I'm tired. I'm very tired. I'm sorry. But the planning and the event itself was really cool. I mean, they had, we've actually got little pictures taken on a green screen with the two main characters of Valerian.
Yeah.
And we'll post a little picture of what it looks like. It's very random but very cool. Keepsakes, obviously, along with our posters. And it made us feel special because they had photos taken, they had people dressed up as cosplay things. They actually had people dressed up as aliens from the movie itself. And the amount of detail that they went into and the effort, and obviously it's not just our carnival, but it's Stoke-Pinnacle as well. So I don't know about you, but I have to say big ups and thank you for allowing us to go to the event. Everyone, Stoke-Pinnacle, Dark Carnival, all of you, thank you, because it was fun. It was really something different, something new for us.
Was it Stoke-Pinnacle or was it New Metro?
New Metro, Stoke-Pinnacle. One of them. we only have two, so if it's not Stoke-Pinnacle, then it was New Metro. It is New Metro.
Anyway, so that's all we really have to say about it. We're going to give our scores to you as well for the movie. Alright, so you can start this time. I always start. It's your turn to actually give the score the first time.
Mine's a 7. I know you argue with me about it, and all the people out there are most likely swearing me to pieces because I'm scoring it as a 7. But for me, 7 is not low, it's not high.
No, it's not a bad score.
But I can't see myself giving it higher than a 7. I want to give it an 8, but because of the things that I feel lacked in the movie, my body goes, give it a 7.
Considering the fact that this is a movie and it's not a video game, it's not what I usually do, I worked on a 0.5 scale and I would minus scores via 0.5. I give it an 8 because I still find issue with some of the parts of the movie, but I still enjoyed it enough to actually say that I will get it on Blu-ray just so that I can watch it again on our TV here.
But as I said in the beginning, guys, you will have different opinions to us.
Go watch
the
it.
people that we spoke to afterwards were in line with you. They gave it an 8 out of 10, and unless you like Kasha, who gave it a bajillion. But their schools are different to mine, so it depends on you and you as a person.
Yeah.
But one thing I am gonna say is go and watch it because it's worth watching.
It is
Regardless
worth
of whether I've scored it at a 7, it's worth watching because
look,
it's
7 is
still
not a bad
good
score.
movie.
7 or 8, neither of them are bad scores, and the reason why we gave them those scores is because this is how we feel about the movie. That's it from us here at home. We will definitely see you guys again. We're not sure if we're going to do another movie review. Hopefully we do, hopefully we don't. Depends on if it's geeky enough, actually. But anyway, yeah, that's it from us here at home base. Remember, guys, keep it geeky. Bye.